You wanna be starting something. You want to be starting something. You wanna be starting something. Hello, and welcome to the next episode of Quarantined Life with Matt and Todd, the podcast where we watch a movie and then talk about it at a social, safe distance, respectively from our houses. And then we talk about the film with each other, and hopefully you listen, and we all have a merry good time. I am Todd Domer.
And I'm Matt Malloy. And yes, welcome to this next quarantine episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, where we will be discussing the film Okja.
Okja!
This film is by the same director as the movie Parasite. It is partially in Korean. Parasite was all the way.
Yes.
And what was this movie about? Well, it's about a giant pig, first and foremost. And the pig is like 5 feet tall, huge,
Big
and
pig.
yeah, it's bigger than any pig you've ever seen. And it looks more like a dog or maybe the creature from the Never-Ending Story that he rides on. There's some similarities there.
Falcor.
Yes.
uh,
Um. So yeah. So so the premise here is that there's this company that has created um, this these sort of super pigs, and they have 26 of them, and they send them around the world. And the idea is that farmers in whatever area they're sent to, farmer will take care of each of these 26 pigs. Um, and so we focus on the pig named Okja, who
Okja!
who was sent to South Korea, where this pig is cared for by a farmer and his granddaughter. Um, I'm still not sure what her age is in the movie, but let's
Yeah.
just say
Very unclear.
20. We'll just say, could,
That looks old for her, but
yeah,
maybe
it,
she is.
it could be less than, could be,
Yeah.
15.
Honestly,
I
she
don't know.
could be 10, and I would believe it with how she looked at times.
True, true. Um, so so throughout the movie, so all these farmers are given these piglets. They raise them for 10 years, and then the company kind of comes to collect them, and they want to give a prize to whichever one is the biggest or the best. So Okja wins the prize. Um, they take the pig away. The granddaughter doesn't realize the pig is going away, and she comes back. Grandfather, he's in on it. He knows. They come back to home, and the pig is gone. So the rest of the movie is her trying to get the pig back to South Korea. And she ends up going on some adventures to the city of Seoul first, and then to New York City, uh, and then New Jersey. All those places are hit. Her tour of America, um,
Yes.
and yeah. So that's kind of the premise of the movie, and the company turns out to be maybe not so good, and um, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
it's your sort of typical rescue story of some kind of creature who may be in for a bad time due to corporate nastiness. Like so,
Good job. That's a good review, Matt.
thanks, thanks. What did you think? Top.
Well, before I talk about what I think, did you want to let everyone in on our new format of how we're choosing our movies? Because I think it's pretty cool. Unless you want it
Oh
to
yeah,
remain a secret,
no, I think it's good.
because
So
you can. This is even more you can follow along at home
that's
without
right,
even, as long as you have a Netflix subscription, which I assume most people do.
right. So we were sort of having trouble with like what movies should we pick as we're here both stuck at home in quarantine. And obviously, we have some streaming services available, and the one that we both share, I think we both have Netflix. We might both have other ones too, but Netflix was kind of the one that came to mind. And so we found this site that has like the 100 best movies that are on Netflix, and they update it whenever things go on and come off. So there's always 100 movies. Um,
Nice.
and the idea we came up with is let's use a random number generator and go 1 to 100, and whatever the number is, we pick that movie. So I think the number was
63, I believe.
63. Yeah, and so we picked the 63rd movie on that list, Okja, uh,
Okja!
which was cool. I kind of wanted to see this movie, so um, it was good in that way for me. Um,
Yes.
so
I didn't
that's
even
our
know this
plan.
movie was on Netflix. So
Yeah,
that, because I, like, when my daughter's over, we're always watching something Barbie related or something, and I just use my account for that. So, like, my algorithm for picking my movies is so, like, all over the place. It's either something like action, thriller, killing, or it's like Barbie and Friends or something like that. So, I don't get much of the spectrum in my list.
right.
So that was
It's
good.
time. It's time to create a daughter account on your Netflix so you can get your algorithm back in order.
That's true. It's not like I don't have the time these days. So,
True. So
okay.
anyway,
So,
that's going to be the format
yeah.
for us while we're in quarantine until theaters reopen at some point in the next 2 to 3 years or however long it's going to be.
Oh man, I
Um,
hope it's not that long, but
yeah,
I understand if it is.
yeah. So we'll be good citizens and stick with the quarantine. So
Right on.
that said, what did you think of Okja?
Okja. Um. So I liked this movie. I thought it was like a nice balance of, like, I don't know, some fun, some little comedy moments here and there. There's a lot going on with this movie as far as, like, plot and twisty turns, and I'm not going to go into that because even though we're quarantined, we are still spoiler free. So, um, I did like this movie. I think it's definitely worth a watch. You can, I guess, depending on how old your kid is, you can watch it in front of your kid, with your kid, I mean. And so there's some good performances in here in this movie, and there's some weird performances in here. I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm not much of a Tilda Swinton fan, who is the owner of this company that does this Super Pig um, competition. And what sealed it for me was watching this movie. She plays the owner, and it's just a weird performance by her. But then when I think back to, like, most of the movies she's in, she does the same weird performance in almost every movie. And I don't know, it just sat wrong with me. But that's not a huge minus to the movie. She's not in it like every scene or anything. And then you have like a very weird performance by Jake Gyllenhaal, who plays like I don't know, an on-screen, a television animal expert of some sort, who the company hires to be their, like, head, um, I guess, animal expert for this project. And his performance is just, I don't know what he was. I mean, it's way out there for what it was, I guess. I mean, he just played it really weird. I can't decide if I liked it or I didn't. Honestly, it's just really out there. Then you have some, like, semi side characters. You have um, Paul. I think it's Paul Dino or something. I think his name is. He's been in a lot of stuff. And then you have Glenn from The Walking Dead showing up, and they all do pretty well and stuff like that. And then you have this main performance by this Korean girl who could be 20, could be 10. I can't figure out. And I thought she did a really good job, but my little drawback is, and I don't know if it was like her performance that did it or what the script called for. Kind of felt that she was a little bratty at times, like. And maybe that might be an unpopular opinion when people start watching this movie, but I found her to be a little bit of a brat. So taking all those like some of those minuses into thought, I still think this is a good movie. Like it's a very thought provoking movie, and leaves you kind of. It left me wanting a little bit more, but I can't really talk about that without ruining it. So I'm just gonna stick with this is a good movie. You should see it. It's I think it's like right under 2 hours, so it's not like that much of a time commitment, and it's on Netflix. So, Matt, what did you think?
Well, uh, excuse me. I thought it was an interesting movie. Definitely pretty weird. Like
Yes.
the giant pig plays a big role and is just sort of unnatural looking. I mean, not that like the animation that they use or whatever is bad. It's not, but it's not it's not a creature that you have any experience with.
Yeah.
So it's
It
just sort of
definitely
like,
does not look like a pig.
yeah,
Like you could have told me it was an overgrown donkey, and I think I would have believed that more than a pig.
right. It's sort of like, I don't know. The ears are weird, and it's more like the size of a large hippopotamus. A hippopotamus is
Yes. Yes.
huge. It's more in that vein. But anyway, yeah. So the movie's weird. Um, I thought I was pretty interested at first, and like, okay, we sort of see a little bit about the life of the pig and in the mountains of South Korea in the beginning, relationship with the girl, um, and then that to me went on for way too long. Like it was really
Mm,
a slow start um, until we finally kind of got to the meat of it, which was the pigs being wet.
yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I was just being impatient about that, but I felt like that part of the movie was a little too drawn out, um, and uh, could have been could have been trimmed a little.
Sure.
Um, then once we got into kind of the action parts of it, I thought those were pretty good. There was like a lot of kind of chase sceney type stuff where people are chasing the pig, other people are trying to capture the pig, and all that kind of stuff on its way to travel to city.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. And then near the end, no spoilers here, but it gets kind of dark
Yes, it does.
and a little bit gory, and the Jake Jake Gyllenhaal's character kind of goes off the rails a little bit.
Very much
You're
so.
just like, this is uncomfortable to watch. So overall, I will say I found the movie interesting, but I'm not sure if it was good or
Hmm.
not.
I can totally understand that.
Sorry, I have COVID. Just kidding, I don't. But um, yeah, so overall, yeah, I'd say it's worth a watch, but I didn't think it was the greatest movie ever. Thought it was
Sure.
sort of average because of some weirdness that I.
It did fall in line with the rest of this guy's movies that I find that they are weird movies. This guy makes weird movies. So I and I this is okay. This what I'm about to say happens near the end, but it's not that much of a spoiler. There's also a possibility it's incredibly vague. The scene, it's a possibility that the pig talked, and that was a very weird scene to me because you don't conclusively see if the pig talked or not, but you're kind of led to believe the pig did talk. And then it's like, wow, you just went from weird movie to even weirder. So, oh, I
That
don't hear you,
happened.
Matt. Nope, there you
Oh,
are. Okay.
all right. If that happened, I totally missed it. So we'll have to get together offline. But I
Okay.
kind of missed where the pig talked, I guess. I know the girl talked to the pig. She would whisper things in its ear, but I didn't see the pig itself talk. So,
Sure, we'll talk about it.
all right.
So, Matt, how many, it seems this is a very easy choice. How many super pigs would you give this movie?
So would say I don't know. I think the pluses and minuses for me kind of weigh out to balance each other. So I'm
Sure.
going to go 2.5, 2.5 super pigs out of 5. Um, it was it was intriguing in some ways, this story about a pig, and then in other ways it was like, nah, I don't like this. It's slow or it's too weird
Sure.
in some ways. So I think I balanced it out to like this was an average movie. Um, there's interesting parts, but there's also some weirdness that happens that's
Yes.
kind of like, bah, whatever.
Um, I think I'm gonna land in like the 3.5 area. I thought there's definitely some minuses in this movie, but the more we've talked about it, the more that I have um, come to appreciate how well they did this large CGI pig and how everyone interacts with it and these chase scenes. Like I think they were just like done pretty crisply. Like at no point was I watching and being like, "Oh, that pig looks so fake." Like I was like, "Oh, they're doing pretty good with how people interact with this giant pig and how the pig interacts with its surroundings." Also, I had this weird thought through most of the movie that I just couldn't. It just reminded me of Charlotte's Web so much when people were like praising the pig. They were just like, "That's some pig." Like it's just like I kept saying that out loud to myself for some reason during most of the movie. But anyway, so yeah, I'm at like a 3.5.
Okay. Well, that will wrap up our episode about the movie Okja.
Okja!
Um, so that'll end this episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, where we reviewed that movie, and
Whoa,
we
whoa,
get.
what's our average,
Oh,
Matt,
I
of
was
our
getting
rating?
there. Don't worry.
Oh,
Don't
sorry,
worry.
sorry. Okay.
Um, sorry, a little bit out of order for my normal format, but uh, we rated it an average of 3 uh, super pigs out of 5.
Mm.
So I would say a little bit above average on aggregate, and um, you should see it. If you like movies about giant pigs, because that's how the movie is. Definitely
That's some pig.
some pig. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone, to another episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, and we'll see you next time.
Da 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 da.
Da da da
Da da da.
da da da.